South China Morning Post, 11th of December 2022, Britain endorses China's actions during a fight with a Hong Kong demonstrator in a consulate. No matter where they are in the globe, China considers all Chinese people Chinese nationals and subject to Chinese law. On Sunday, Britain defended its restrained response to a Manchester incident in which Chinese diplomats were alleged to have assaulted a Hong Kong demonstrator. The UK government has been accused of appeasing Beijing by anti-China hardliners in the ruling Conservative Party, who have requested the expulsion of the participating diplomats. But before they could be removed, China called the diplomats back. However, Foreign Secretary James cleverly said that rather than responding based on a widely circulated video, it was proper to wait for the results of a police inquiry into the Manchester event from October. He stated on BBC television that our diplomatic decisions will always be based on the rule of law and due procedure, in contrast to other nations that might act without sufficient proof. After the diplomats were accused of bringing the demonstrator into the consulate grounds to beat him up, he declared, "We will make sure our response is robust but is demonstrably based on rules." Similarly, it was cleverly stated that the government required more proof of the existence of alleged secret Chinese police stations operating on UK soil that were used to intimidate Chinese dissidents and carry out espionage activities in the country. Following claims that China was using such outposts to spy on, intimidate, and conduct espionage operations abroad, Ireland, the Netherlands, and the United States have already tightened sanctions. Cleverly stated that we have seen some really, very wrong behavior, horrible behavior from China, a hegemonic country, citing Xinjiang, Hong Kong, and development loans to weaker countries. As the UK seeks a more sophisticated strategy for dealing with the second-largest economy in the world, he also emphasized the potential for working with Beijing on problems like climate change. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak declared a fortnight ago that although the golden period of relations with China was past, his administration will embrace strong pragmatism in dealing with other nations and hegemonic powers like China. In advance of a speech on Monday arguing that Britain should look beyond its old allies in the wake of Brexit, cleverly declared that China was an extraordinarily demanding country on the international scene. Then Prime Minister Boris Johnson promoted a global Britain seeking out new alliances abroad when he led the nation out of the European Union. However, the idea is still being developed in terms of trade and security, and in the meantime, Britain's economy is suffering from double-digit inflation. Cleverly will declare that the UK is prepared to make investments of faith with nations in Asia, Africa, and Latin America that weren't traditional partners in the past. Cleverly will remark that the UK offer will be customized to their requirements and UK strengths, spanning trade, investment, development, defence, technology, and climate change. As the G7 group of wealthy nations tries to challenge China's debt-fueled development aid, he adds, this will be backed up with a reliable supply of infrastructure investment. We shall demonstrate long-term commitment and strategic endurance.